Last August, my neighbor Sharon came over with her electric bill in hand, a total of $400 for a single month. She looked at my bill on the kitchen table and was completely stunned. It was just over $10 on the same street, the same summer, in a house the same size, built the same year. I don't have air conditioning, haven't had one hooked up in over 20 years. No ceiling fans, no noisy box fans in the windows, nothing drawing power from the grid. And my house stays cool enough to sleep all through July with a blanket on. My name is Franny. I've run a household on less money than most people spend on coffee since 1974. And the method I'm about to show you cost me $5, €5, a trip to the dollar store, and about 15 minutes of my morning. That's it. Here's the part that might bother some people. The reason most of you don't know this isn't because it doesn't work. It's because there's no money in teaching you how to stay cool for free. Your power company doesn't send you a helpful note in May saying, hey, try this before you turn on the AC. Blind companies don't run ads explaining that there's a cheap version of what they charge $200 to install. People who sell cooling don't make money when you stop buying it. I'll show you why a $1 emergency blanket works better than a $200 blind. And I'll tell you about a wet towel trick my Aunt Rose used in Tucson that used to draw the neighbors in off the sidewalk and onto her porch every evening. And I want to be clear with you from the start. This doesn't work the same way in every climate on Earth. I'll tell you exactly where it falls short and what to do about it, because I'd rather you trust me than be impressed by me. But for most of us in this country, this works, and it works well. So subscribe, because what you're about to hear will change how you think about summer. Here's how I cool my entire house for $5. Most people think their house heats up because the outside air is hot. That's part of the problem. But the bigger problem, the one nobody explains, is radiation. Sunlight passes through your windows and hits your floors, your countertops, your furniture, everything inside. Those surfaces absorb the light and turn it into heat energy. And here's the catch. Glass lets sunlight in, but it traps the heat that bounces back off those hot surfaces. So your living room slowly turns into a greenhouse. It's the same reason a car parked in the sun can reach 60 degrees inside, while the outside air is only 32 degrees. The glass let the energy in and refused to let it out. Your walls play the same trick, just more slowly. A south-facing wall in July absorbs heat from sunrise until late afternoon. By nightfall, that wall is still warm to the touch, pushing heat into your bedroom like a radiator nobody turned on. In most homes, windows are the single biggest source of summer heat gain. A south-facing window on a clear July afternoon can let in as much heat energy as a small space heater running on low. You might have 6, 8, 10 of those windows around the house. That's a whole row of little heaters running every afternoon. And then you ask your AC system to fight all of them at once, one expensive kilowatt at a time. Your power company loves this situation. They love it because running a compressor all day is the most inefficient possible answer to a simple problem. Fighting heat, once it's already inside your house, is like mopping the floor while the tap is still running. You can do it, but you'll never finish, and it'll never get cheaper. My mother didn't use the word radiation. She called it the sun getting in, but she understood the solution better than any HVAC salesman I've ever talked to. You don't fight heat after it's inside the house. You stop it at the door. That one idea is worth more than any air conditioner ever built. Everything I'm about to show you comes from that. Walk into any dollar store and look in the camping section. You'll find emergency blankets, sometimes called thermal blankets or survival blankets. They come folded into a little package about the size of a deck of cards. Most stores sell them for $1 each. Some charge $1.50. Buy 5 of them. That's your entire investment for the summer. That's the $5. An emergency blanket is a thin sheet of biaxially oriented polyester film with a metallic coating. NASA needed something lightweight that could reflect heat away from satellites and spacecraft back in the 1960s, so DuPont developed this material. That metallic layer reflects about 97% of radiant heat. Not 50%, not 70%, 97%. It's printed right on the packaging. Here's what you do. Walk through your house around 2 or 3 in the afternoon and put your hand near each window. The ones that feel warm are your problem windows. In most homes, that's the south and west-facing glass. Those are the windows turning your rooms into greenhouses every afternoon. Take one of those emergency blankets and tape it over the inside of the glass, shiny side facing outward toward the sun. Painter's tape works, or duct tape if you don't mind a little residue on the frame. You don't need tools, measurements, or a professional. You can do one window in under 2 minutes. What happens next is the part that would make a blind salesman nervous. That thin sheet of polyester film bounces almost all the sun's radiant heat right back through the glass before it ever touches the floor. Curtains can't do this. Curtains absorb heat and release it into the room. They're just a middleman that gets hot. Blinds are even worse because the slats turn into little hot plates radiating heat at eye level. A friend of mine named Doris kept her blinds closed all summer and couldn't figure out why her living room was still unbearable. I told her, "Doris, your blinds aren't blocking the heat. They're soaking it up like a cast iron skillet on a burner." She put up the emergency blankets on a Friday and called me that same afternoon to say her living room was noticeably cooler by 3 p.m. By the way, don't worry about the corners. People get very fussy about this, and it's not necessary. If one blanket doesn't fully cover a wide window, use two with a slight overlap and tape the seam. It doesn't need to be airtight. You're blocking light, not sealing a submarine. If a corner peels up after a week, just press it back down. This isn't a renovation. It's a €5 fix that takes about as long as making a sandwich. Also, you can still see outside from the back side. It's not like living in a sealed box. From outside, they look reflective, like commercial tinted glass. Some of my neighbors didn't even notice I had them up until I pointed it out. Now, here's the part that stings. If you've ever bought professional solar window film, the material those companies install is the exact same basic technology. A metallic reflective layer bonded to a thin film. They charge $150 to $200 for a whole house and tell you it's premium quality. It's true, it's a bit more durable, I'll grant them that, but the heat reflection principle is identical. You're paying for the brand name in the installer's van. The polyester film in the emergency blanket does the same job for about a 200th of the price. That's a profit margin that's banking on you never setting foot in a dollar store. And the bonus nobody mentions. In winter, you can flip them around with the shiny side facing into the room. They'll reflect your heating back inward instead of letting it escape through the glass. €5, working both directions, summer and winter. The second part of this doesn't cost a cent. It'll take you maybe 30 seconds, twice a day. Every evening, once the sun is off the roof, walk through your house and open the windows, not just one or two. Open windows on opposite sides so air can move in a straight line through the house. If you have a second floor, open one window upstairs and one downstairs. Hot air rises and pulls cooler air in below, and your house pushes out the day's heat in about an hour. It's like opening the oven door after a big meal. You're letting the heat escape instead of trapping it. Leave those windows open all night. Let the cool air soak into everything heavy in your house, your walls, your floors, your furniture. All of that absorbs whatever temperature surrounds it. Cool that mass overnight, and it'll hold that temperature well into the next afternoon. A plaster wall that spends 8 hours at a nighttime temperature of 18 degrees won't climb back up to 26 until past noon, even as the outside air is already rising. Now here's the crucial part. Close everything up completely at 8 a.m., every window, every exterior door. Before the day's heat starts building, you seal in the previous night's coolness. Your house becomes an insulated cooler holding on to the temperature it banked. Overnight, while the outside world climbs toward 30 degrees Celsius, if you have a 2-story house, this works even better. Heat rises to the second floor all day long. Open those upstairs windows at night and the hot air escapes like steam from a pot. The ground floor cools first, the upper floor follows, so by midnight, both floors are holding the night air. Overnight, while the outside world climbs toward 32 degrees Celsius. If you have a 2-story house, this works even better. Heat rises to the second floor all day long. Open those upstairs windows at night and the hot air escapes like steam from a pot. The ground floor cools first, the upper floor follows, so by midnight both floors are holding the night air. My mother did this every single day, May through September. She used to say you bank cool air the same way you bank money. You collect it when it's available and hold on to it when it isn't. She raised 5 kids on a single income with a mortgage due on the first of the month, and never paid for air conditioning a single day of her life. Most people today do this backwards. They keep the windows sealed all night with the AC running, then open them during the day because they want fresh air. That's like putting money in the bank at sundown and pulling it all back out by noon. A neighbor tried this last summer after seeing what it did for my electric bill. She called me the second morning and told me her thermostat read 23 stories at 10 a.m. with every window shut and not a single watt of energy used. That's cooler than most people even set their AC to, and it cost her nothing but a walk through the house. Timing the windows right makes the blankets work twice as hard because you're starting each day from a lower temperature. Less heat sneaking in means less heat building up by afternoon. The two pieces together are stronger than either one alone. Look at any photo of a farmhouse built before 1950. Look closely. You'll see a deep porch on the south side, tall trees deliberately planted. Near the west wall, a trellis with climbing vines by the kitchen door and awnings over the bedroom windows. None of that was decorative. Every piece was pure engineering. A porch roof overhanging a south-facing wall keeps the high summer sun off the siding. That one feature alone can drop the wall's surface temperature by 8 to 11 Celsius on a clear day. Those tall trees on the west side block that brutal, low, late afternoon sun that comes in around 4 p.m. and turns a bedroom into somewhere you can't sleep. And that vine-covered trellis by the kitchen door wasn't for charm. Grandma spent hours in that kitchen over a hot stove. She needed that cool spot by the door, the same way a factory worker needs a break room. By the 1960s, builders realized they could skip all of that and sell you a machine instead. Why spend money on a deep porch when you can stick a compressor outside and have the homeowner pay to run it every month? Why plant trees that take years to grow when you can sell an AC unit today? So they pushed the house right up to the lot line, cleared the shade trees, removed the porch, and bolted a big unit onto a concrete pad. Problem solved. For them, you can reclaim some of that without spending much. An old sheet hung as a temporary awning over a west-facing window blocks the worst afternoon sun for free. A trellis made from dollar store garden stakes with a morning glory vine growing on it takes a few weeks to fill in and then shades that window all summer. Even a big potted tomato plant by a low window soaks up heat that would otherwise be warming the glass. Shade works before the heat ever reaches your window. The blankets catch what gets through anyway. The timing trick banks the coolness overnight. Each piece makes the next one stronger, and none of it needs a plug or a monthly bill. That's how houses were built to run for 150 years. Then somebody decided cooling was more profitable as a product than as a principle. In a single generation, we forgot everything our grandparents knew about living with the sun instead of fighting it. Some afternoons are going to be brutal no matter what you do. There will be 37-degree days with dead still air where even the shade feels heavy. For those days, I've got one more trick. The same one my mother used on canning day when the kitchen stove had been going since sunrise. Take a cotton sheet or a big towel. Soak it in cold water. Wring it out until it's damp but not dripping. Hang it in a doorway or over a window where there's at least a little airflow. As air passes through that wet fabric, the water evaporates and pulls heat right out of the air. It's the same reason stepping out of a pool on a windy day gives you chills even in the middle of July. People in dry climates have used this for centuries. Settlers crossing the plains wrapped their water jugs in wet burlap to keep them cool. There's no patent on it. It's just water doing what water does. I remember my Aunt Rose, back in Tucson, had a screened-in porch on the back of her house. Every summer, she'd soak old cotton sheets and clip them to the screen frames with clothespins. When the dry desert wind passed through those wet sheets, that porch became the coolest room in the neighborhood. Her neighbors used to come sit with her in the evenings. She never spent €1 on it beyond the water. On a dry day, a single damp sheet in a doorway can drop the air temperature in a room by 3 to 6 degrees C. You re-soak it every couple of hours as it dries out. That's the whole technique. Now here's the honest part, and this matters. This works best when the air is dry. If you live on the Gulf Coast, or anywhere humidity sits, above 70% for days at a time, a wet towel won't evaporate fast enough to make a real difference. The air is already saturated. In those places, the polyester emergency blankets, combined with shade and the window timing trick, carry most of the load. And if you need extra help on the worst days, a small dehumidifier running a couple of hours in the afternoon uses a fraction of what an air conditioner costs. That combination will still keep you well under $20 a month, which is a long way from $400. I told you at the start I'd give you the straight version, so here it is. If you live somewhere that stays above 43 degrees for weeks on end, this system will significantly lower your indoor temperature, but it might not get you all the way to full comfort on the worst afternoons. In that case, a small window unit in just one room, run only during peak hours, combined with everything I've shown you, will still cut your bill by 60 to 80% compared to cooling the whole house with central air. If anyone in your household has a heat-sensitive health condition, heart problems, breathing issues, or takes medication that affects how the body regulates temperature, talk to your doctor before trying any of this. I'm a grandmother who knows how to save €1, not a doctor. Health comes first, always. If you're renting and your landlord won't let you tape things to the windows, look for removable static cling solar film at a hardware store. It costs more, maybe $15 to $20 for a whole house, but it peels off cleanly when you move out and works on the same reflection principle. This isn't about suffering for the sake of principle. I want that to be very clear. I sleep comfortably, I cook all summer long, I have friends over, and nobody asks to leave. The goal is to stop handing over $300 or $400 a month for something your house can mostly do on its own if you set it up right. People have told me, Franny, if this were really this simple, everyone would already know. And I tell them the same thing every time. Everyone used to know. Every generation before ours understood how a house worked in summer. Then somebody figured out they could sell you a machine to replace what you already knew. And in a single generation, the knowledge just disappeared. It wasn't proven false. It didn't stop working. It just stopped being profitable for anyone except you. Here's what I want you to do this Saturday. Not next month, this Saturday. First, walk through your house in the mid-afternoon and put your hand near each window. The warm ones are the problem. Write them down. That takes 3 minutes. Second, go to the dollar store and buy 5 emergency blankets. If your local store is out, they run about $2 each elsewhere. You'll still be under $10 even at full retail price. Third, tape those blankets over each warm window, shiny side facing out. Use painter's tape, duct tape, or whatever's in the drawer. 15 minutes and you're done. Fourth, tonight, once the sun goes down, open windows on opposite sides of the house. Leave them open until morning and set a reminder for 8 a.m. to close. Everything back up. Fifth, find a way to block the afternoon sun on a west-facing wall, an old sheet on a clothesline, a piece of cardboard leaned against the siding, anything. You can build something nicer later. Today, you're just blocking the sun. Sixth, if it's a dry, hot day and you've got a spare towel, soak it and hang it in a doorway. See what happens. Give it 1 week. Walk through your house at 3 p.m. on day 7 and pay attention to how it feels. Check your electric meter, compare it to last week's, and then at the end of the month, open that power bill and look at the number. I've been watching mine for 20 years, and it still makes me smile every August. Tell me whether a $5 investment was worth it. Leave a comment below and tell me 2 things. What region you live in, and what your summer electric bill looks like. I read every one of them. And if your mother or grandmother had her own way of keeping the house cool that I haven't covered today, I want to hear it, because that's how this works. We share what we know, we teach each other, and every trick passed down is one more thing they can't charge us for. Next time, I'll show you how I heat this same house in winter for under $10. Same idea, opposite direction. Your grandparents knew it. Now you do too.